Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of 15 Minutes with Fuzz. I'm Fuzz Martin, and that's good because this show is called 15 Minutes with Fuzz. And if I wasn't Fuzz Martin, well then, this would be awkward. Kind of still is. Hope you're having a great week. I appreciate you listening to the show. On this week's episode, Pete Rettler drops by with his son Jack to talk about the 2022 Rettler Run, which takes place on New Year's Eve at the Wisconsin 9/11 Memorial in Kewaskum. It actually starts in the annex building behind the memorial, but it is to support the memorial. And you know what? There's no roof at the memorial, and it's December. So that makes sense. We'll talk about Pete's 29-year streak running, Jack's 1-year streak running, and all the cool door prizes that you could win as a part of this year's run. And with that, here's 15 minutes on the Rettler Run with Pete and Jack Rettler on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. All right, it's that time of year again, time for the 29th annual Rettler Run, and we have two Rettlers joining me today, Pete and Jack. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you, Fuzz.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Pete, we're on to another year of your streak. What number are we on now again?
It'll be, if I make it, to December 29th or 31st. Knock on wood. Is this wood, Fuzz?
It's wood enough, yeah.
It'll be 29 years complete without missing a day.
That's amazing. And again, not everybody has heard your story yet. So first of all, when we talk about a streak, let's just ask you, how far are you running to make this included in your streak each day?
I average 2.5 miles a day, with my minimum run being what I call my Sunday run, which is about 1.2 miles. But it averages about 2.5. So most days I'll run 3 miles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then start tapering down a little bit. So
now tell us again how you got started doing this run streak almost 29 years ago, and what you do to keep that going each day.
So I was a high school and college wrestler, and when I was in college wrestling, I finished my career at 126 pounds, and we were back for an alumni meet up at UW Eau Claire, and me and my buddy Phil Scherenbrock were pushing 200 pounds, and we made a vow that we were going to get back into shape in 1994. So the first year, I distinctly remember the Badgers won the Rose Bowl with Darrell Bevel that day, and I went for my first run. Phil Scherenbrock, my buddy, he went for a run every day in 1994 too. He was smart enough to quit after 1 year, and I wanted to see how long I could take it, and I would have never have dreamed that it would have went 29 years, but it did, and I've been blessed.
Well, we're glad to have you here and still running, because every year you go and help out a charity, and for the last, now, I believe it's been 4 years, you've been helping the Wisconsin 9/11 Memorial, correct?
I believe that's true, yep.
You mentioned at one point you used to get up early to run when your wife Kelly was getting ready to deliver your children, so we can assume you got your run in before Jack was born, right?
Yes, I did, and I remember that day because I came home, it was the morning, and I asked my wife how she was feeling, and she's like, I think today might be the day. And I'm like, okay. I said, do I have time to get a run in? And she said, yeah, you have time. So I went and got my run in and had Jack later on. And Fuzz, none of my kids, I've got 4 children, and Jack is the oldest. None of them have ever known a day that I haven't went for a run.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, Jack, welcome to 15 Minutes with Fuzz. You're a lawyer at Schloemer Law Firm in West Bend, which again goes to how long your dad's running streak has been going, is that you have become a lawyer while your dad has been running. First of all, what kind of law do you practice?
I have a very broad practice range, litigation, real estate, contract review, pretty much everything but estate planning.
Okay, now's your time to shine. All right, so your dad is kind of almost literally passing the baton on to you. How has your streak been going?
It's been going well. Like he said, haven't known a day in my life that he hasn't run. So it was important for me to start a streak of my own, and didn't quite get there with my first child, but hopefully we can keep it going.
Very good. Now,
and Fuzz, the story on how that he was sort of guilted into doing this, because a few years ago, my daughter and I were getting interviewed for the run. I think it was Lily Zhao from Channel 6. She asked my daughter, Maddie, are you going to take the streak over when your dad's ends? And Maddie's like, no, I think that's the responsibility of the oldest child.
And here you are.
Here I am. And I think when she said, it's the oldest child's responsibility, everybody's always asked, who's going to take it over when he can't do it? And I think it's a testament to him, but I think he'll do it until the day he dies. And so I didn't want, we talk about starting my streak, I didn't want him dying to be the reason that I start running every day. That just seems weird to me. Yeah, right. Like, why would I start running when he dies?
Yeah. So that's a really good way of looking at that.
Hopefully, and we've been able to do it this year. Hopefully there's many years where we're sharing the streak together. So I just wanted to add that to the story. Yeah, my sister is the one to blame for me starting my streak, but I didn't want it to be because he wasn't with us anymore.
That's dark, but also heartwarming somehow. Do you guys ever run together?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. So yeah, and it was nice because when he was little, I pushed him in a running stroller for many years, and then when they were old enough to bike, they would bike next to me, and then eventually they started running. So Jack actually, of all four of them, probably ran the most with me.
Did you run in high school or in college or anything?
I've always run. It was a weight control thing for me with wrestling.
Sure, okay.
And I probably averaged more miles in the past than I do now because I stick to the minimum run, minimum requirement.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy to do it every day, and I wanted to make sure I could get through it at a sustainable level. So I've always run, but the everyday thing is the new part for me.
Sure.
Although you ran what do they call it? A Ragnar run this year, where you guys ran from what? St. Paul to Duluth?
Yeah.
Oh, did you go with Amanda and John?
John was in this one. They did another one, a trail version, I think a month later, but John was with us on this with one of my brothers and cousin and some of their friends.
So for those listening, Amanda Sachs is a lawyer at Schloemer Law Firm, and John Sachs is her husband, who's another attorney at another firm. So,
correct.
And Amanda's also on our board at Kewaskum Remembers 9/11.
She is, and she's great. She's been a big part of making sure that we're running along perfectly. So I asked your dad this last time we spoke on this show about this, but do you have a go-to pair of running shoes that you have, like a brand that you're?
Yeah, my wife would probably not like this, but I like Hoka.
Okay, I knew you were going to say Hoka when you said your wife wasn't going to like it.
It's an expensive habit, and you go through them pretty quick running every day.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone from Hoka that's listening to this, I'd appreciate a shoe deal. I'd be willing to wear them for you. What
have been your biggest challenges with running this year? Being an attorney, you have an up and coming career. You've had a kid, right?
Yep. So 2 years apart now. So young family, young career. I would say the family balance everybody goes through. I know it's one of my dad's biggest pet peeves, and quickly becoming one of mine too. When people say, I wish that I could have a streak like that, or I wish I had time for something like that. You find time. Yeah. You make time if you prioritize it. That's been a big challenge, just getting buy-in from everybody involved. I asked my wife before I started it, is this something that you're going to actually, support?
Yeah.
She's been great.
Good.
But it's been a lot of early mornings. Try to get the runs in before everyone wakes up.
When you do a short run, what's the average amount of time that takes you?
I can be in and out in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I run usually around a 7-minute mile.
Same.
Yeah, me too.
So I can 10 minutes out of your day. It's not too hard to find 10 minutes.
Sure. Pete, how long does your run take it?
If I'm running 9, it's because I'm running with him.
Okay. So right. Yeah. Coming up on Saturday, December 31st is the annual Rettler Run Streak celebration at the Kewaskum Annex to raise funds for the Wisconsin 9/11 Memorial. Goes on from noon until 3 p.m. Tickets are available at rettlerrun.com. Please get signed up today because you'll be supporting the 9/11 Memorial. Pete, tell us about the great door prizes that we're going to have this year.
So 29 years means the entry fee per entry is $29. I have a lot of wonderful sponsors that we've put together about $2,000 worth of door prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere I'm waiting on my friend Jeff at Jeff Spirits to put together all the bourbons for me, but it'll be from $25 all the way to $200 bourbon. So 29 door prizes. And then Jack can talk about, so $29 to enter my run. Jack is 1 year, so.
Yeah, I wanted to have a competing but non-competing
Yeah.
event, and I thought it would be kind of funny. $29 for his thing. You only have to pay $1 for mine.
So $1 entry for Jack's run, and
But there's only one prize.
there's only one prize, and that's a pretty big prize, right?
That's the biggest prize. So the prize is I'm into building weird things, and I built a mobile whiskey shack. And basically it's a fish house, very fancy ice shanty with a full bar and big screen TV. And we're going to have one winner for $1. You can enter as many times you want for Jack's portion of the run. The prize is a 4-hour use of the mobile whiskey shack. I'll pull it anywhere within reason as long as it's legal to park wherever. And it's going to be stocked. Thanks to Schloemer Law Firm this year is our presenting sponsor. It's going to be stocked with $500 worth of bourbon and beer. And so it'll be a party for 6 people, and Jack and I are going to bartend the party.
Excellent. I've been in it. In fact, I was in it recently in the Kewaskum Christmas Parade, and was also in it once while we were planning for the run this year. And it is awesome. So kudos to you on all that. You've got a TV in there. You've got obviously a refrigerator, a pizza oven. What else do you have in that?
Well, it's solar powered. There's 3 holes in the inside for ice fishing. The center comes out for sturgeon spearing. So there's a ceiling fan. It's nice.
It's pretty cool. Recommend you checking it out. You've got some photos online, and I believe we have some posted on the 9/11 Memorials Facebook page as well. Do you need to be present at the event to win?
You do not. And it's not a serious run. It's more of a party or a celebration. So, by the way, Father Pat, the famous, I call him the most famous priest in Wisconsin, will be there again to give us a New Year's blessing. So,
great.
No, you do not have to be present to win. You don't have to run. If you want to just walk, you can bring your dog and take your dog for a walk. It's the run part is not serious at all. It's not a timed run or anything like that. There's no prizes.
But if you are a serious runner, like Jack is, and you can, I know like often county executive Showman will come and
yes,
and he's pretty competitive.
Well, he's got his son who's a very good runner. Yes,
yeah, exactly. Yep. So we do have a mapped out course, right?
Yeah, and actually, I don't know in the history of the run at the annex if anybody's ever followed the correct course. But this year, I believe we're going to work with the volunteer center.
Oh, great!
And they're going to have some volunteers there to help direct the way, and we'll have a little bit more organization in that area.
Great, excellent. What is your goal for this year's event?
$10,000.
$10,000.
Last year, I think we were a little over $8,000. So we think we can get to 10 this year. Schloemer, once again, a huge boost with being the presenting sponsor. That helped a lot. Just about every sponsor that we've had in the past is back this year. A lot of them upped their sponsorship rates. So it'll be a great event.
We should talk about who our sponsors are this year for the Rettler Run, and I'll pull up the list here unless you have that handy. Obviously, you've said Schloemer Law Firm, American Companies, Duquesne Concrete, West Bend Elevator, Epic Creative, Baird, the Nowak Group, Jeff Spirits on Main, Cousin Subs, Tennessee's Hardware, Dunn Brothers Coffee. Pete, you and Kelly have sponsored this. Jack, you and Sarah have sponsored this. Mike and Kay Chevalier.
Correct. Chevy.
Just
call them Chevy.
Mike and Kay Chevy.
Yep.
Midwest Preferred Insurance Group, and Hewlett Packard Enterprise.
That's a new one for us this year. That's Chip Failing and his crew.
Well, we want to say thank you to all of those who have signed up for sponsorships for the Rettler Run, and also those who have signed up to be in the Rettler Run. Again, you can do that at rettlerrun.com, Rettler Run.com. And speaking, we had mentioned Dunn Brothers and Cousin Subs, but they'll have refreshments again this year at the run, right?
Yes, there will be coffee, hot chocolate. I'm sure Keith will have some
party
subs
boxes
there for us to eat. And I want to challenge it's an entry that you buy to be part of the door prizes, but you can buy as many entries as you want. And I noticed today my son down in Baton Rouge entered 20 times.
Wow.
So that's a huge donation. So I want to challenge somebody to beat that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you. That son's name again?
Is Drew.
Drew.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Drew. Appreciate that. Jack, you got a 21? No, I'm just kidding.
I've run every day of this last year.
Drew's just sitting home. He's like, it's like when your kid has a fundraiser and you're like, I'm not going to sell pizzas. I'll just give $50.
Yeah. He lives down in Baton Rouge, so he's kicking up in his infinity pool.
Nice. That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
All right. People can buy at the event as well, right?
Yep. It's easiest just to go and do it online, but you can buy at the event. And for Jack's portion of the run, we're not doing that through the website. So that's just we'll have spreadsheets that will keep track of that.
Yeah. So sign up sheets, like if you go to Jeff Spirits on Main,
we'll have one at Jeff's. Yep. And I'll talk to some other sponsors too.
Great. If you are wanting to get involved, if you're hearing this and not sure where to go, you can just reach out to me, 15withfuzz@gmail.com, and I will help get you in the right spot, or I'll just help take care of you there. So, but again, the event itself is on New Year's Eve from 12 till 3. It's the Rettler Run. It's happening at the Kewaskum Annex building, which is right behind the Wisconsin 9/11 Memorial, right off Highway 45 in downtown Kewaskum.
Fuzz, one thing to add, and you being the president of the board of the 9/11, so a lot of people think the memorial's built. What do we need the money for?
So our mission with the memorial always has been, first and foremost, to get the memorial built, which is done, and it looks beautiful and it's great. Second is we also have to maintain that for years to come, and the maintenance of that costs about $20,000 a year, barring any big things from happening. Then the next big part of that is making sure that we're educating students and younger generations about September 11th. We do that through providing lesson plans to all the teachers in the state of Wisconsin, both digitally, and we mail out letters to teachers in high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools throughout the state of Wisconsin, both public and parochial. And then so there's postage involved, there's printing involved. All the other services are donated to us, but those costs do add up. So it's really getting that message out, then finding speakers for our different events, hosting our field trips, and trying to make field trips more accessible.
Just maintaining the grounds. They're so beautiful. The landscaping, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really to maintain and to educate, and those are what we're trying to do. And we want this. We talk about people never forgetting. Well, we've got a generation coming up that hasn't known, so we want to make sure that they learn about it so that it doesn't happen again. There you go. Well, again, Pete, Jack, thanks for all you do. Thanks for coming in, and looking forward to the Rettler Run on New Year's Eve.
All right. Thank you, Fuzz.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Pete and Jack Rettler for coming in to talk about the Rettler Run 2022. It takes place on New Year's Eve, Saturday, December 31st, from noon till 3 at the Kewaskum Annex building. It's right off Highway 45. It's on Highway 45. You can enter online at rettlerrun.com. That's RETTLER run.com. Or just come with cash in hand, baby. Bring your checkbook. What I'm saying is you can pay on site at the door on December 31st. Thank you for listening to 15 Minutes with Fuzz. Find all the episodes at 15withfuzz.com. New episodes come out on Tuesdays. If you got an idea for a guest, fill in the form, fuzz.cc/guest, fuzz.cc/guest, and we'll talk to you next week right here on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. That bell was an accident, but we're leaving it in.